Hi, Ilonka. It's Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Hey. Well, I am so happy to introduce you and introduce you to everyone watching and introduce you to people who follow us because I am always so proud of you, and I love following your school and everything you're doing with the kids at the school. So Ilonka Soto is the owner of the Austin School of Fashion Design. She is an entrepreneur from Santiago, Chile, and she is going to talk with us about her journey to Austin, Texas, her background, how she became interested in fashion design, and how she became the owner of ASFD, where you can find ASFD and what they offer, and also just fill us in on her experience as an immigrant entrepreneur in Austin, Texas. So, Ilonka, I think I'd like to start first with your background. Like I mentioned, you're from Santiago, Chile. Can you tell us a little bit about your home and living in Santiago?
Yeah, well, living in Santiago is totally different from living here.
Of course.
It's a very large city and it's very much noisy and wild, and there's like a lot of life. And also, it's interesting to always think about your home country because it's like mixed emotions, right? Like what you remember, kind of like from a nostalgic point of view, and what's really truth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a bunch of nice memories. Friends and family, very important, of course, and I still have many, many friends and family there. So, yeah, Chile is it's very special for me.
And did your background in fashion design start in Chile?
It did. It did. I went to school there in Santiago, and yeah, all my experiences as a young teen and a young child were related with fashion in a way. I think I wasn't even aware of it, but it was happening. And yes, it started all down there growing up.
Where did you study?
I went to a school that is called INACAP, Chile. It's a large, large school, professional institute. It was an interesting story because I wanted to go to school for art. That was my passion. I wanted to do um, painting. I wanted to be in like big galleries in New York, and I don't know, history decided different. I got a scholarship for a fashion design career, and yeah, I was very lucky to get that. It was very helpful. That decided what is happening now. In a way, I didn't know back then, of course. And yeah, I went to school like over 4 years for garment. How do you call it? Garment, apparel, fashion, pattern design.
Nice. Well, can you tell us like a little bit about your journey to Texas from Santiago?
Well, that was a big surprise as well. I got
I was
married.
just gonna say, did you expect to end up in Austin, Texas, as the owner of a fashion school?
Never, never. That was all little surprises. 1999, I was in New York. It was my first visit to the US, and it was very exciting, very different. I was much, much younger, and everything was just a lot of fun. I had already finished school, and I was creating a lot of really fun wardrobe for bands and just interesting experience back then. Then I returned to Chile, and a couple of years later, my life just changed. I got married and I moved to Dallas in Texas, and that was my first time in Texas. I just didn't know anything about it, and everything was a big surprise. Yeah, that's how I ended up in Texas. Very unexpected.
So tell us a little bit about your experience as an immigrant in Texas, like no less. Like
Right? I know I'm still in Texas, but sometimes Austin doesn't feel like Texas.
That's true.
It's true. Years later, down my journey, I just decided that I wanted to get out of Dallas for many reasons. And I think it's the best decision I could have ever done. Austin was just so invigorating, and it changed my life, my journey, and that goes hand in hand with the immigration experience that you're like asking me about. It's so interesting how your life changes, like as a person, as a woman, as an immigrant. It's, I don't know, a little bit of a spiritual journey too. You just grow up, get stronger. But my experience in Texas was very interesting, had a little bit of everything immigration wise. Quite long. I wasn't able to see my family in like 10 years. That was probably one of the most I don't know, difficult things I've done. And you get to wonder during that time, like, what am I doing? So getting to Austin was very nice because I got to meet Miss Jackie to begin with, who changed my journey as well. My experience in Dallas with immigration was not the best, wasn't very nice necessarily. I had a lawyer back then that didn't really help my case, I believe, and I see clearly now. Also, I was so much younger and everything was so new. You have so little knowledge about what you're doing, that basically, I don't know, but it's life, it's experience. Things got way better when I moved to Austin. And yeah, the rest is, I don't know, history.
So can you talk about how those challenges motivated you and helped you kind of get where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel grateful today. Like I look back, all that, like we could call it hardship because many times was really, really, really challenging and difficult. Has totally shaped me into a more courageous person, much stronger. Your life experience gets so rich that finally there's a point when you, I don't know, you feel like a little ninja. You really do. You feel like, oh, well, I already done all these things. I accomplished this, and I'm a strong person. I believe in myself, and I have proven it a few times. And I'm gonna just keep proving more difficult things now, more beautiful things, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So interesting journey.
Well, I remember because I think you and I have known each other for probably about 10 years at least.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And I remember when, all the millions of times we had to present what a great person you are to immigration, and I always loved putting your packages together because I would ask for pictures of your designs to show what you were up to, and I was always like, yeah, this is great. This is one of the more interesting one of the more interesting presentations that I've had the honor of putting together for an immigration support. Uh, but I think when you and I first met, you were a solo designer. Am I right?
Absolutely, because when I moved to Austin, I started to follow a total freelancing wild leap of faith slash career. I just decided I wanted to, I don't know, do something totally different, radical, and I was going to be independent no matter what. I was going to be successful no matter what. And by successful, I mean being independent. I wanted to be
Mhm,
able to just support myself, have a comfortable life, being happy mainly, have peace of
mhm,
mind, because I had a lot of the opposite after the experience of my marriage and being a survivor of an abusive relationship is shapes you into a much bigger and interesting, better, courageous, and just a much brighter person. So you finally find your path, and that was exactly my intention. And it's been a journey. It has happened that way. I don't know. It just is intense. Yes.
Well, Ilonka, can you talk about like how you felt because I was sitting there with you at our very final interview when you were finally told you're gonna you win. You get to stay. You are here. You are now permanently here. Can you talk about your feelings on that day, at that moment?
Oh my God. If I recall well, it was winter and it
Yeah,
was like,
February, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was February.
that's correct. And it was one of those strange times in Texas when the cold was real.
Hmm.
If I recall well, it was very surreal. It felt like, am I dreaming? Is it finally over? I felt just like, oh my God, I felt so happy, so accomplished. Like, finally, this part of my life is over and I can get ready for my next chapter, which is what I wanted to do. Just, um, I was already the owner of my school and I was already working towards my dreams and through all the ups and downs. And it was just liberating, accelerating, like a huge gift, powerful moment, and of course a mix of so many other emotions too. But overall, it made me feel like everything had been worth it, if it makes any sense.
It absolutely makes sense. And I do remember also you looking forward to your first trip home.
Oh my goodness, now that was extremely emotional because when you haven't visited your home country like in such a long period of time, yeah, everything is so changed. um, that was very emotional, seeing everybody, friends and family. Huge gift. I just, my father had been going through so many episodes of very poor health. It was very scary. I had lost a few family members as well during that time that I couldn't travel, which is understandable because life moves on and it makes it very challenging. It makes you wonder, like, I'm just missing out on everything. But at the same time, I always feel inside that I don't know, I was building something. And without not always being aware of, not always knowing it, not always being able to put it into like words, I just felt inside I was walking towards something bigger. And now I see it clearer and I hope I keep doing it. Yeah. Thanks to that day.
Um, so I mean, obviously, it was and through no fault of your own. It was just a kind of a you took the long way to gaining your permanent residency, and you've mentioned that you are a survivor. What lessons can you maybe share with someone who might be listening who might feel I'm ready to give up, or I'm not going to make it, or where you find that strength to carry on and keep fighting?
Well, what an interesting question. I believe that, these are just such personal and different journeys, I'm sure, for everybody. And at the same time, we all aim to the same goal, that you feel united with like so many peoples that have a dream to find a better life. And they have to go through circumstances in life when you become a survivor somehow, or whatever different ways. You just find some inner voice, I believe, and your own strength. You find your courage as a person, and like I said earlier, you find your spiritual side, whatever shape, form, different religion names you call it, whatever you want to call it. But you find your path in a way, and what's really your truth. You gotta walk towards your truth, what really makes you happy, and it's going to make you feel liberated. In my case, was staying here, seeing that I had something to contribute to with my life here, with my work, with my presence. I believe every person should find that truth. And if you're like certain what you're doing is what's really going to contribute to your life to make it better in any way and a richer life in every way, you should just follow that calling in a way. You should just follow it and stay truthful to yourself, I believe. And Yeah, and find good advice, find the best help, because yeah, not always you feel surrounded by the best intentions or the best people. And sometimes people might have the best intention and they just don't have the right experience or the right knowledge. And it's a journey. You need to find the right help. That part is not, it's not, it's not joke. It's very important. You need to find like professional guidance. I don't think you can do it by yourself.
You almost anticipated my next question, because I was just going to say, I mean, I know how strong you were in kind of leaving the one immigration case to the side with you know, in the abusive relationship and moving on to the next. You had your own inner strength, and and you've mentioned professional help as far as like outside help, right? You had your own inner strength to do this, and then but I know that you had some other special people who were helping you along the way. um, do you want to just mention, like, you know, anybody who's particularly strong in your life to help you out?
Yeah, I think relationships that you form, even in a place that is not your home, you form very strong friendships. Friends really become like the family you were not assigned to, the family you got to pick, and sometimes you're very lucky to have them. I think, yes, a very important relationship in that time was, with no doubts, I had my significant other of the time. That was a great support. I remember attending so many appointments and so many important meetings, not only with you, but many of them in San Antonio. And they were such a big deal. They just were so nerve-wracking to me that I really had to trust someone to give me strength and give me objectivity, like remember and understand 100% of what they were saying, because stress is very tricky and sometimes takes you in a very not truthful direction, meaning you don't really understand things well, you get to not hear well, you get to not believe, you're like a little bit, yeah, stress, I think it's a little deceitful. So you just, I don't know, with no objectivity, it's not really easy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I agree. I mean, I think it must have been very hard for you to be able to trust again after having that first trust in your first case by with your ex-spouse broken.
Yes. You said it very well. When you go through an experience like that, you really feel like you were about to be broken. I'm saying about because then you discover that you're still in one piece somehow, in a, I don't know, very interesting way. You discover you're still the same person, but then like a better person, and then a bigger person and a stronger person, and you just find your identity even stronger. So that's the unexpected gift of that whole ordeal and strange, not requested experience.
Yeah. Well, you know, Ilonka, when I met you, I by no means thought you were a weak person or a broken person at all. You were actually a very strong person. And I think by that point, having gone through as much as you had before you even met me, you almost had a better focus on this. I need to find someone to get me out of this situation, and I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired. And I just remember our first meeting that you were actually a very, very strong person. So I'm a witness about to your strength and positivity. I mean, you had every right to kind of lose that positivity and optimism along the way, and you never did.
Well, it's so nice to hear that, because you, as I said before, you lose your objectivity with yourself, and these situations are so life changing. They're so radical. They're so intense. Um, that you lose a bit of yourself. I don't know, observation. You're like, am I losing it? Am I not? So yeah, you feel like you're hanging from a thread. I'm very happy to hear that I look so much more confident in the outside.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think we all kind of sometimes feel like we're falling apart inside.
right. Yeah, very, very interesting.
Well, so these lessons that you've learned, how have you translated that into your professional life now as the owner of ASFD? Sorry,
ASFD
ASFD.
is it's confusing. ASFD, Austin School of Fashion Design. Well,
Almost easier just to say the whole name for me.
no, and it's really long too. Yes. Well, as a survivor, as a person, as an immigrant, as a woman, and then as an artist, as a designer, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, there's so many hats, so many roles to the same person that they go like separately and at the same time go all together. That's where you get the strength, I believe, to just not lose it. You basically believe in yourself, and yeah, you take a big leap of faith. You're like having a dream, you're following it. In a way, rationally, you have fear. You realize you are like gambling a little bit and things might not work your way, but somehow you just keep going. Also, as an entrepreneur, you learn that many things you attempt, the more you attempt, many of them might not turn out the best, might not turn out exactly how you expected. And instead of taking them like failures, because I don't like to really use that word in any experience, um, I see even divorce as a huge opportunity. When I meet people, I meet women that are like, "Oh my God, I'm just going divorce." I'm like, "Congratulations! I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. This is a new chapter of your life.
That's right. Welcome to your new life.
Yes, you're being born again. You're giving a second chance." And even men and women are like, "No, I see it as a failure." I'm like, "Why? This is a new opportunity. It's all the opposite. No, it's something you tried, you learn, you move on." And the same thing with business. You as an entrepreneur is a non-stop learning, and it's one of the things that I love about being the owner of the school, because you learn and you never have a dull day. Or maybe a few, but at the same time, there's so many challenges that there's no time to get bored and no time to be like, my work is so boring. It's never boring. It's like
Oh,
the most
yeah.
exciting and motivating and also so surprising. To begin with, I never imagined I was going to be I have a fashion design school in Texas. It never crossed my mind. And I was going to be working mainly with very young people. We cater to all ages, but we are very successful with kids and teens. And I never thought of myself to be in this position of a mentor, a leader, if you will, in this field. Is something I never expected. I never really um I'm sure I imagined it, but I never, it's like you're not fully aware like where your dream is taking you. You feel something inside and you feel it, you follow it. So yeah, you get very attuned with your intuition and the spiritual self and all that stuff, important
Well,
stuff that you carry.
and how does that help you? Because you and I have talked about this over the last year, like just how hard this last year has been for you know, business and how what has all these challenges that you faced, has that helped you kind of get over like one of the weirdest past years that I certainly have ever experienced?
Right. We're evidently talking about the pandemic year. Yes.
I mean, it's certainly hurt your industry a lot.
Oh, it was extremely difficult. Last year, 2020, I was about to close the school so many times. And at the same, and especially during between the periods of August and October, I was really preparing to go fully online, fully virtual classes, close our studio, pack up our fabulous Bernina Swiss engineering sewing machines, pack away all our all our fun toys that we use. And I'm like, oh my goodness, when is this going to turn around? So it was very scary. Surprisingly, I got the most amazing opportunity. I got to move my studio to a much northern location. We are now in Georgetown at a huge, very beautiful shopping center called Wolf Ranch Town Center. And we have a way nicer studio, much bigger, much comfortable, much more modern, and at the same and also we get like so much support from the people who like gave us this opportunity, mentioning again the super hard times we were going through as far as the pandemic. Because summer camp, it's one of the big deals at school. They're very busy, hectic, successful for us. They're like 10 or 11 or 12 weeks of like pure action. Is just so much fun. Really, really, really enjoyable, high energy. And last year was all the opposite.
Right.
So it was very, very deciding, like economically, financially for our school. I'm like, oh, we're not going to make it. Well, after the opportunity of moving, we're just looking towards the future. Everything is much better this year. People are relaxing in a way a little bit. And we're looking towards, we're going to have a wonderful event approaching very soon, March 27th, that we are hosting along with Wolf Ranch Town Center. And this event is going to be an outdoor, fabulous runway with a fashion challenge, with prizes. We're so excited. I
Oh,
think,
that sounds wonderful.
yes, we have a beautiful huge water fountain outside of our studio. The runway is going to be coming out of that water fountain. We're very excited. Very, very excited.
Please send us an invitation that we can share.
Absolutely, I will. Yes.
So yeah, let's talk about all the good stuff. So like, tell us about like what in, I mean, so now you have had at least a decade, right, with the Austin School of Fashion Design? Or
No, I'm
no?
owner of the school since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
The school has been existing for over 10 years,
Okay.
but I took over the school. I had the opportunity after being an instructor there. I was
Right.
teaching. And then
And when did you start teaching there?
I started teaching, let me think, when was this? 2014, 15, something like that.
Okay, so it was a little less than I thought, but still quite a long time, 7 years, six
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
And then the school, I had the opportunity of taking over sometime in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
What I did create was the Academy for Young Designers, which was a total new approach for how the school was focusing on how we would just basically do everything. I was paying attention to the super young people that would come to school and what the parents would be telling me. Before it didn't existed, before the focus, the structure, everything was quite different. And I just did a little bit of a radical change, and I've been seeing results. I really like what the school, where the school is going. By no means we're rejecting or not catering to adults and any people, any background, any age, but we are very big with children and teens. Also, we do college prep, and that's one of our strong suits.
What's your most proudest achievement? What are you most proud of with the school, or of the many things I'm sure you're very, very proud of? If you can name just a few, like maybe your favorite accomplishment.
Yeah, I think it's the academy. I think it's the academy because it's so refreshing to see the super young people that they start, and even recently, they start as early as age 6, all the way up to 17 or even more. And you see them flourish, you see them taking this so seriously. They really make you feel everything so fresh, like things that could be boring to teach over and over. Well, with the young ones, it's just so exciting. They just bounce back all that energy to you, and it's beautiful. It's, yeah, I think I feel really proud of that. I love the academy.
That's so wonderful. On that note, why don't you tell us some more about the summer camps? Because I know a lot of people who join us have kids and are always looking for ideas for the summer. it sounds like we're going to be opening up. So, yeah.
Right. So the summer camp is really fun, super high energy, quite convenient for the parents. We run from Monday through Fridays. We start at 10 all the way up to 3 p.m. and also can be in the afternoon if that's convenient for you. We have 10 weeks to choose from. Normally we get started on the beginning of June. And it's really, really fun. Children find a new hobby, a new passion. Many of them keep returning the whole year. They learn how to sew for sure in the sewing machine. They also learn a little bit of fashion illustration with principles that real designers use. They learn like a little bit of nomenclature, vocabulary. It's quite exciting. You see the children normally getting very engaged, very interesting. And I'm telling you, you witnessed a passion being born. They're like, oh my God, I'm a fashion designer and I'm 7.
I've
I feel
seen some
so,
of their work. Their work is
yeah.
incredible. I follow your page because it is so amazing what these kids do under your direction, Ilonka. It's so impressive.
Thank you so much.
I
Thank you.
love it. I love it.
It's beautiful what we do during summer camp this year. Also, each Friday, when all the campers are going home with a bunch of projects, bunch of new experience, a thick folder, plenty of illustrations and new designs that they want to make. On each Friday, we have a little celebration. We're going to have a little fashion show as well at school for all of them, for the baby designers, as we call them. And it's really fun, high energy, never a dull moment. What can I say? Summer is intense. And it's quite convenient for the parents because they don't need to worry about anything other than bringing some snack for the young fashionistas. They don't need to bring absolutely anything because we provide it all. Sewing machines, all tools, all supplies, absolutely everything. So yeah, I think that's our goal, to make parents' life easy.
It's wonderful. How can parents find your school and sign up?
Well, we have a website. It's Austin School of Fashion Design.com altogether. So
We'll
long.
make sure and put it up. Yeah, we'll
I
make sure.
know, Austin School of Fashion Design.com. And we just like are very easy to find. We have already the bookings available. So all camps are online already available for purchase right now. And we also have the spring break one, which is going to go from March 15th to the 19th. It's 1 week. And yeah, that's going to be right before our event again in March 27th.
Okay.
So we're I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen this summer, because last summer kind of hardly even happened.
Right. Yeah.
And we see much more interest and much more people trying to save their spots for this busy season that is approaching. And yeah, can't wait to see.
What are your plans? What are your hopes for the school in this coming year?
Well, our hope is to give back, to be the busy, successful, growing bees we were. I would love to, like, we moved north now, and I'm very happy to be there because I wanted to reach the people in the suburbs. Like, they're very family oriented, and the kiddos need an opportunity and a fun place to have where to go. I would love to reopen a studio, hopefully the sooner the better, North Central Austin. That would be great. And yeah, that would be great. And open a few more. That wouldn't hurt either. That's a dream for now, but we were already talking earlier about how dreams go. So little by
That's
little,
right.
yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, you didn't expect to be this far. We know, well, none of us do. So what would you advise, what would you advise immigrants, women entrepreneurs? You've talked a lot about, staying true to your dreams, but is there any other advice that you might want to pass on to anyone who's really looking to take a big leap and start their own business?
I think they really need to believe in themselves. I think it's a huge contribution that women, and especially immigrant women, have for society in general, for our city, for life, even for the country, because it's just our strength, our spirit, and our resilience is something that not just anybody carries. This is not something that happens by accident. It's something that is, in many cases, is meant to happen, and it just more than likely will develop into something big. Also, I believe women, we have such a hard history. Like there's so much we can say about all accomplishments that we have done, sometimes so with so many difficulties as a gender. You know, I'm talking about like centuries of oppression, and it's part of like all of us have something like an important task. Don't ever feel like whatever you have to contribute with is not important. It is important. You might see it like a tiny, I don't know, grain of sand. I see it like something really big that might really change lives, change people, and change your family, change your everything, your life, your legacy. I believe we immigrant women have really a spirit that is quite unique. I'm the daughter of an immigrant woman myself. My mother, if you recall, she's not from Chile. She and her family, my grandparents, are Hungarian immigrants. And I am very, very related to this type of life. It's just like, I don't know, immigration is one of the most interesting rights of all humans, really. Since you can study history, people have been moving around to find a better life through centuries, through, I don't know, for so many reasons of survival. And now it's no different. We might have technology, but it's no different. People still need survival, and they're looking for a better style of life, many times escaping oppression. So I will tell to those women to just follow their dream and stay put, find the right advice, and surround themselves with positive people. Also, what I observe in my case, I've always tried to not limitate myself, not stay in a very close circle. Not only, for an example, people who only speak your native language or people who only talk about your native country. I believe you should like expand your horizons, and if you don't like mix yourself and learn from the culture there's already here that is so rich, because the US is a huge melting pot, and there's so much to learn from everybody. I mean, that's the beauty of becoming an American. And I think you should really expand your circles. You don't need to, you should cultivate yourself, find education, go farther, improve your English, learn in every way. I think it's a non-stop learning journey.
Well, Ilonka, I have certainly, I mean, you've been a good, I mean, a friend. You've been a great friend. I have certainly looked up to you in your
Thank you.
resilience and your strength. And it is just a joy to talk to you. And you know, even think about our journey together for the last few years. Oh, Melissa says excellent advice. Of course, it is excellent advice. You are very uplifting, Ilonka. I have you your attitude is certainly was always a lesson for me in my own bad attitude. So
I think you were inspiring me and helping me much more than you will ever know. So I appreciate very much your words. Thank you for
oh well,
saying that.
thank you, Lanka. Meeting
But
you is
likewise.
meeting you is always one of the better parts of my career. So, and I'm so glad we're still in touch and we're still friends. Eugenia says she
Yes,
loves your laugh. I'm just reading comments here. Yes, definitely, Ilonka. If you don't have anything else to kind of share, I think we're gonna let you go and get back to work, and we're gonna do a little drawing for a $50 gift card from our audience. Do you have anything else you wanted to share?
no, I'm just very thankful for the opportunity, guys. Thank you for having me here. I hope everybody liked my voice because you didn't get to see me at all.
That is, and let me tell you, that is a crying shame because you are so beautiful, but we'll make
Oh,
sure and put lots of pictures of you to
thank
make up
you.
for it. We'll put pictures of you up, as well as how to get in touch with the Austin School of Fashion Design. And please send us more about the event coming up. Oh, and Marcela says you also have a beautiful voice. So beautiful inside and out, and audio and visual. But do send us more information about the event, because that is something that I would encourage anyone to go. I've heard about your where you are now, and I've heard that's a really wonderful new, very updated, family-oriented shopping center and community area. And you know, as the weather gets nicer and we're outside, you know, I think it's a wonderful idea. So we'd love to share that with everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. And it's been a total pleasure. And anytime.
Oh, thank you.